From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries.
Hello and welcome to ATN Health Forum. ATN Health Forum is a compilation on all critical health issues designed to reach segments of the society and prefer solutions through the instrumentality of all medical professionals. As we already know, we will be addressing issues in health, and to that effect, we have with us a special guest joining us today. He is a medical radiographer, Orange Medical Diagnostics. Today we will be looking at the general overview of kidney-related issues in our society and possible solutions. When we return, we'll introduce our guests to you, so do stay with us.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what they blow.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
Welcome back from that short break. If you are just joining us, this is ATN Health Forum, where we make a compilation on critical health issues designed to reach all segments of the society and prefer solutions through the instrumentality of medical professionals. And today we have with us Mr. Valentine Frederick. Mr. Valentine, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me on today's show. All right, we'll be going into our show for today. Mr. Valentine, can you please educate us on the general overview of kidney-related issues in our society and possible solutions?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, my viewers all over the world. This evening, we'll be discussing on kidney-related issues in our society and their possible solutions. As I start, kidney, as we all know, is a pair of organs that are located beside our ribs. They are very vital due to the functions that it performs. And now, kidney, as the names imply, serve as an essential organ for filtration and selective reabsorption of whatsoever we consume in our body. Kidney is very delicate because for you to survive, your kidney has to be in a very well-functional state. In our society today, it's known that living in our society today are, so I'll be pointing out some of these issues and the way we could stop and have solutions to ourselves so we could have a better society. Now, what are the functions of kidney? There are various functions of kidney. I will be mentioning few this evening. As I said earlier, the major function of kidney is ultrafiltration and selective reabsorption. It also does the function of excreting the waste, that is the toxic, out of the body, and also balances the blood pH level. The kidney also produces some hormones that helps to maintain the blood pressure. Some of these hormones are the renin, angiotensin, and also erythropoietin. The major and one of the functions also include the stimulation of bone marrow to produce the red blood cells. So if all of these functions are not met, that means you can't say that kidney is functional. And now, due to the way of life and how we live our lives, there are several things that we have done in our home way, knowingly and unknowingly, that have caused damage to this kidney. Some damages can be repaired, some damages can be fixed, while some at the terminal end could lead to a demise of an individual who doesn't take a precaution with this. And now, how does kidney regulate the blood? Today, many individuals are living with high blood pressure that is related to kidney issues. Mind you, if you take in overdosage of drugs overdose, and abuse of this substance, it will damage the cells of the kidney. The functionality of the kidney will be impaired, and in turn, the kidney would not be able to produce the hormones that are needed to balance this pressure, this blood pressure. If you are obese, for people that are obesity, diabetes is also one of the things that leads to kidney failure. And now, how do we live a healthy life so we will not have this kidney issue? In this generation we find ourselves, we take pleasure by consuming junk and intoxicated things, not knowing the implication of what we consume and how it affects our kidney. Just of recent, the World Health Organization has released the life expectancy, and it is not going up, it's rather it is coming down. The reason why this is happening is because the organs that are meant to sustain a man for a particular time is being damaged due to how we take care of it, due to what we consume, and due to how we handle our lifestyles day by day. Going further, you will believe, many persons will believe with me that majority of us in our society today prefer over-counter drugs without doctor's prescription. Some of we take them in an overdose, and the kidney has to filter them, select the ones the body needs, and the remaining one, which is the overdose, it will now send it out. And we also enjoy spicy food, not knowing that the minerals, the organic minerals in the body, the kidney has to select them. If it is much, for example, the sodium phosphate, the calcium, the potassium, the body has them already. So we adding it another in our food. When once the body cannot excrete some of this organic mineral, they will accumulate and form a kidney stone. And if a kidney stone is situated in the kidney and it dislodged from there and block the ureter, the urine that is filtered after the excretion and selective way out of the kidney to the bladder for excretion, and it will be stocked. It will stock there and leads to infection. That takes me to the various sections on damages of the kidney. We have the chronic kidney disease and the acute kidney disease. In the chronic kidney disease, this is a prolonged stage of kidney damage that has been there for over a period of time without treatment, without attention. So it now leads to a chronic phase, and chronic kidney disease comes in stages. We have the stage 1, the stage 2 till 5. And many persons live with these stages without visiting their health professional for treatment, for drugs. In acute kidney disease, this is an onset, the damage of a kidney. For example, in the case of burns, in a fire outbreak, if a person is got victimized and then is involved in a fire outbreak and is burned, that sudden process of from an healthy kidney to a damaged kidney due to that fire incident it falls under the category of an acute kidney disease. We also have trauma comes in where an individual is suddenly attacked and there is a puncture or a trauma to the kidney. That also can impair the functionality of the kidney and leads to the failure of that kidney. Let me revise our mind back to the anatomy of the kidney. As I said earlier, that the kidney are two pairs of organs that are located on both sides, that's the flank. These kidneys are well protected by the renal fat pad, the muscles, and the ribs. Now, if an individual have a problem with one kidney, he or she can survive with one kidney because the functionality of the other one is not affected, except the cost of the failure of the one that is damaged is related to a disease impaired one or due to a family history. That is when this one could, after a time, get damaged too. In our society today, how do you know you have a kidney issue? If you have these indications that I'll be mentioning, you should go and see a doctor because that could be related to kidney issue. One of them include the swelling of the legs. If an individual has a kidney issue, the legs will be swelling, most especially the ankle region. We have the swelling first, and the body fatigue, the abdominal discomfort and pains, loss of appetite. An individual might start losing weight because he or she is not feeding well. Kidney issue is not only related to an adult. It affects both the children, both advanced age, and an adolescent aged. So you can see a child that is born with a kidney issue. This is as a result of the family background they're hereditary. So if a family has a kidney issue, it could transit from one person, one generation to another. That is why it is always advisable you try as much as you can to see a doctor to make sure that it doesn't get to the gene. Because when it gets to the genetic component of it, it will definitely translate to another generation. Now, how do an individual with a kidney issue survive in our society? If an individual discovers that he is having a swollen leg, his sugar level is high, he's having increase in blood pressure, is losing sudden loss of weight, loss of appetite, and fatigue, it is very pertinent and important for that person to see a doctor. The reason why you are seeing the doctor might not really be that you know that you have a kidney issue, but to be on the safe side, that will help you prevent the future occurrence and things that might lead to a sudden breakdown. Now, if your kidney suddenly stop functioning, that means your blood is not filtered again. The water you consume, is not separated from the blood, and other toxic and waste are not excreted out of the body. You will also see that because the hemodynamic of the body is not maintained, your body will start absorbing fluid. That results with the swellings that happens. If kidneys are affected, there are always chances, 70 to 80% of it affecting other organs, most especially the heart, because the blood has to be cleansed, filtered, and then sent back to the heart through the vessels. Now, earlier on, I mentioned that the kidney does the function of producing some hormones. These hormones help to prevent to prevent blood pressure from happening. That is, to prevent the flow of blood to flow at a constant rate without an increase in pressure, most especially the angiotensin hormones. Okay, now going back to the family history that could lead to kidney issue. If the genetic component is broken in a gene compartment and the affected person who tends to have a polycystic kidney. What are polycystic kidney? Polycystic kidney are fluid-like collections. Cysts are collections of fluid that are situated in the kidney. This could also affect the functionality of it because it is not meant to be there. Now, how will you know that you have this? It's through having the basic medical investigation, such as the ultrasound, that is the abdominal scan, and the urine test for urinalysis. The reason why you are having a urinalysis is because if your kidney is damaged, it won't be able to filter the blood and the essential vitamins. Then your body will now start excreting the important vitamins that are meant for the body. You will now be excreting it out. You will now see a urine containing blood in it. If this happens, if you happen to see this in your urine, if you happen to see blood in your urine, if you observe that you've been having a very foamy and foul smell urine, it is very, very advisable you go for this basic test in a laboratory so as to be on the safe side. I don't know if I'm too fast. Okay. So now, if the result comes out, most in that urine test, there are other things that could be found, not directly that you have a kidney issue. There could be a urinary tract infection resulting from using a public toilet that has been there in the bladder for over a period of time and then ascend up to the kidney to affect it. If this happens, the will start having flank pains on the side, discomfort, and it could be sharp, it could be mild, depending on the severity of it. Flank pain could also be attributed to kidney stone. I made mention of kidney stone before, that the risk factor of kidney stone is that if it happens, it might dislodge there because the diameter of the ureter is not wide enough. It will get stuck while coming down from the kidney towards the bladder, and it's always very, very painful. And now there are medical procedures to attend to cases like this, because a dislodged renal stone is a medical emergency that has to be resolved through lithotripsy, that is molting of the stone in medical procedure. Now, how do we take care of our kidney? In this our era now, taking care of the body to some persons have become very secondary instead of the primary thing that we should have do. Consumption of things that are not needed is advisable by me. The reason why I said so is the time it takes for the kidney to function, to filter and in abundance, and we tend to consume them the way we want it, we are giving the kidney an extra work for it to filter it, and then we will now excrete it out. For people that love consuming large numbers of alcohol, so it takes the glomerulus, which is the filtering segment of the kidney, a larger amount of hours to filter this drink out of the body, send it out, because the body doesn't need it. And as this is happening, the lifespan of that kidney is dropping small, gradually, with time, with continuous accumulation of this toxic, I call it toxic, to the renals, it will reduce the lifespan and the functionality of that organs. I also advise that an individual should stop abusing drugs. In our society today, persons consume drugs just for fun. Many take them to stimulate their activity for the day without having in mind the negative impact of what these drugs will cause to their kidney. That the amount of abuse through drugs that you do to the kidney is directly proportional to the lifespan of how and the effect of and the damage that it will cause to your kidney. As delicate as it is, some of these drugs have some inhibiting factors that are not needed at that point in time. When we consume this, it might antagonize with other functionality of the body and then impede the proper way of how it should function. We also see that many persons have been having constantly daily activity without rest. In every active functional generator. It has to be shut down for some time. So it is the ways at which you can also control and help your kidney is to have some rest, avoid abuse of drugs, and make sure you see a doctor whenever you notice an unusual things that happened within your flank region. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Valentine, thank you very much for carefully explaining all of those details to us. So if you know that you've been doing any of these things, abusing drugs, abusing alcohol, or refusing to go for medical checkups, you just go for over-the-counter medications. This is your sign to stop. It's time to take control for you. We'll go right into the next segment of our show, so stay with us.
Every day, our lives are changed by history,
We are one people, all of us.
leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order.
Honorable
On the point.
on them. They are not picking up a calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Cause up and down like this now.
I hope nobody. Hello.
Why you are? Let's go.
Because this road where they see so
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy wey I dey pay for club. Where me and boys dey shout.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is ATN Health Forum on Atlantic Television Network. Now, Dr. Valentine, you were saying something about the kidney and water and food. There's this myth I hear about not drinking water while you're eating. They say drink water 30 minutes before you have a meal and then 30 minutes after that meal. What did you say? What do you have to say about that? Is that correct?
Okay, by way of answer, water is good for the body. So if it is good for the body, drinking water before, during, and after is good, depending on how you've been doing it, depending on how your body accepts it. I personally, I drink water before I eat, and then while I'm eating, I'm also drinking because I believe water helps in digestion and the functions of water too, related to the kidney as I was discussing. The water helps to flush the kidney in cases of renal stone. So if there are some debris, if there are some particles that were left there after the filtration, the water will help during the selective reabsorption and filtrations. The filter, the tubules, the glomeruli will be well filtered well. So water is good for the body generally.
So we have to slay all those people who say you can't drink water while eating, because obviously we can. All right, Mr. Valentine, as a medical radiographer, can you explain to our viewers the importance of medical imaging in diagnosing various health conditions?
Okay. The importance of medical imaging cannot be overemphasized because medical imaging is the high of medicine, is the high of modern medicine. Why am I saying this? For any doctor to be able to give an accurate diagnosis, imaging has to be done. Though there are various modalities in assessing this, achieving this goal. Imaging could be through modalities, the CT, which is the computed tomography, and the MRI. But what is imaging, if I may ask? Imaging is having a visuals of the internal structures, getting to see their state, their health state of it, knowing if they are healthy or not. So the importance of it cannot be, there's no medicine without imaging because we are the high of medicine.
Okay, so would you say that the technology in the field of radiography has advanced? If yes, how has it been of benefit to patients?
Technology evolution in this century has really advanced. The benefit of this to the patients are a good machine, a good diagnosis is made because you are having a clearer visualization of these internal structures, their state of it with clear resolution, and a fast result is being achieved. For example, during in the 90s, where we had a 16 slide CT computed tomography, it takes a longer time for an image of the brain to be achieved. But with this modern advancement of thanks to GE and Tesla and Siemens, they have 120, 126, 164 slides that within a second, within 2 minutes, image is being acquired with a clear visualization.
Safety measures in place to minimize radiation, exposure to radiation during imaging?
The radiographer who is to carry out this investigation has already had the basic of the knowledge of radiation safety in place before giving a license to practice. As a radiographer, you should have the basic knowledge of the dose rate of the radiation you should dispense. Radiation being invisible, odorless, colorless, you are not seeing anything. So now, without the background, the amount of radiation I should give my patient for a particular segment of the body, because each of the body parts has an amount of radiation that should be given. The safety precaution is that there's a safe zone. A lateral principle must always be applied. That is as low as reasonable, achievable. What do I mean by that? Is that for an investigation to be carried out, the least amount of radiation given out should be the one reasonable. Like, should be reasonable enough. It should be the one you'll be able to achieve what you want. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
So now, there are dosimeters, there are badges that helps to read these radiations while you are carrying out your daily activities. Mind you, the situated room for radiation dispensation is shielded with a lead. It is well lead lined such that people that are non-clinical staff, non-radiographers working in the same environment are not affected with these radiations. So the walls of the room are lead lined and well supervised by the board, licensed. They will check to make sure that there are no, if at any point a leakage is found, that center might be shut down because of the effect of what it will do to its environment. So the knowledge of radiation is the first safety, because without knowledge, you will be overexposing, you will even be irradiating yourself.
All right, so do you happen to have any success stories as to where carrying out a medical radiation on a patient helped with their diagnosis? Probably they came in thinking that they had something else.
My success story is that every day I go to work and I'm able to produce a good reproducible diagnostic value image that will help a patient have a treated. That is my success for the day. There are to come, but in every day I record my success. As I attend to the patient, I ask them, are you satisfied? How are you? So they said they are okay. I know that I'm good, I'm successful.
All right. So how do you, as a radiographer, collaborate with maybe the doctor on duty or the nurse on duty so you can as well give a timely diagnosis or diagnosis report to the doctor on duty? Or
with regards to the departmental collaboration and teamwork, it is pertinent for you to be a successful radiographer. You should be able to work as a team, because and you can't do it alone. In a hospital setting, the nurse has to bring the patient from the ward to your unit for you to carry out the investigation. Give the ward a warm resection, the nurse will still take the patient back. And now, coming to the doctor's relationship with the radiographer, the doctor will communicate with you in form of a request card. telling you the examination that he or she wants to be done. Now, in some busy days, some practitioners might miss some investigation needed, and they write another thing. You as a radiographer, it is your responsibility to get back to the doctor through a phone call, because their numbers are always there, politely telling the doctor that this should be added. That is where the team spirit and teamwork comes in.
About getting medical radiography done, what exactly would you tell them to make them listen up and know that they are safe to carry out this procedure?
Investigation is being done to radiation. So some anxious person might not even know these safety tips. So you first of all assess the patient politely with your way of introduction, talking to the patient first, ask reason if they didn't come with a request card, and assess the urgency of the investigation. I know an investigation that needs an urgent attention, and I know how to handle the emergency case with those that are not an emergency. You have to segregate it. Those patients that if they are in the waiting area, they will cause a discomfort to other patients. Such patients are fastly attended to, so as to create space for other patients. And then patients with a very severe underlying ailment that need oxygen are also attended to very fast, so they can go back to their ward. Now, for those that are just coming for medical, just for a routine check, to say, you try as best as you can to let them know that we are all humans. There is always that understanding. So all rallies around the individual and how you table the situation to the person.
Okay. So are there any ongoing education or training that medical radiographers have to undergo in every period of time or every phase, so that they can be up to date with the current technologies or ailments that are coming up?
Yes. First, for you to even become a radiographer, you have to go to university. Before now, there were a few universities that were offering radiography as a course in Nigeria. I'm using this to advocate to Nigerians, to people that have interest in medical. A choice as a professional course while studying in university. This will also help losing the pressure of reduction in the numbers of radiographers that we have in the country. Now, there are several courses that a radiographer is a must to keep up to date. After graduation, you go for a 1-year compulsory internship, get trained by your senior and your superior. After that, of course, you go for your youth service, still under the supervision. Before then you can now get your permanent license to practice, to dispense radiation. After dispensing of radiation, there are different modalities in radiography. We have the MRI, the CT, ultrasound, the conventional, the fluoroscopy, the mammography for the breast, and nuclear medicine for the treatment of cancer. Now, each of our own course, we call it the postgraduate diploma course, that is done for certification, for specialization, that if you choose to have a PGD on this. Each year, we are regulated by board, RBN. So the Radiography Regulatory Board of Nigeria, that's what we are regulated to. Each year, the board makes sure that they organize a professional course to enhance our day-to-day practice.
All right. So before we wrap up our show for today, thank you very much for answering all of those questions to the best of our understanding. Here's a fun fact. It says, did you know that in 1927, 37% of radiologic technologies were nuns?
We are nuns.
Yes.
Nuns